Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Good. You're not even subdued. I'm going to get you all going anyway, right? We all have the tools within us to write our own story. So let's reframe and find a way to use those contacts that I'd already made and to build a new foundation. So when we hit rock bottom, the only way is absolutely up. It might feel like the worst pain at the time that we're going through, but change is the most powerful thing that leads to growth. We have a choice. Instead of dwelling on the negatives, it was time to make some big changes, which, although were so scary and uncomfortable, were necessary, and it did enable my growth. So when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and that is just so true, so true. So for 23 years of my life, I was the lead singer for 90s dance band Urban Cookie Collective, who had a big hit in the 90s with I've Got the Key, I've Got the Secret. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Good. Here's a little bit of what I used to do. I'm not shy, am I? Oh my gosh, that feeling, that one energy, that's just electric. It really is. October of 2023, I chose to leave. And by doing that, I created a space in my life. So when I decided to leave, I didn't have anything that I was going to move on to, but it was at the point in my life where I had to move on for my own mental health. Getting into the present is something that's called the Hackalao state, and I call it the now state. So I'm going to invite everybody to participate with me in a little exercise that we do. So you don't even have to leave your seats. Just go with the flow and see how it goes for you. So this is the now state. So what I'd like you to do is just focus on a point. You could even focus on that eye if you'd like to. Focus on a point in the room. Just let your eyes just relax on that point. And literally, we're going to start taking deep breaths in. So we're going to breathe in. Nice and relaxed. Breathing in. And breathing out. And while you're still focusing on that spot and you're doing your breathing, you can notice without even moving your eyes that you can see the ceiling and you can see the floor. And you're breathing in and out. So that was a very quick version of the now state. How's everyone feeling? Good. Present, yeah? Present. So we're just getting rid of any noise that might be around. The most important project that you're ever going to work on is your own self, your own self-worth. And you are the only one that could be holding yourself back. In the same way, our experiences and feelings are there to protect us, but you can choose who's in the driving seat. If you can imagine all your feelings as being in one car, the front seat, there is you driving, and that is your feeling. In the passenger seats, there's a host of other emotions. There's confusion, joy, happiness, sadness, anger, bitterness. The car is full. But these are all parts of you. We're made out of tiny fragments that have all been put together, and every single part of you is important, but we can choose who's in the driving seat. So the way that you think, the words that you speak and your programming, the actions that you do on a day-to-day basis, they really can and they do change your world. In a world of choice, why wouldn't you choose to be happy and look for the positive in things rather than looking for the worst case potential outcomes? So myself and Dave, we actually also ended up being successful in appearing on Dragon's Den in the UK. So the main reason that we'd invented this cable was because of that problem we experienced. And our main goal whilst developing it was to get the most perfect sound from the guitar to the amp, which would not degrade and was perfect. And we achieved that as well. We achieved it. So we actually got offered a deal by Tuka Sullivan, as you do, but was one of the dragons at the time. So his vision was to mass produce the product by cheapening the components, and it cost a lot for us to manufacture it the way it was. It would have degraded the sound. So we actually very happily decided to leave the project at this point, and we didn't want to go that route because our need and our desire was to create a perfect sound and a perfect indestructible cable. Their vision was somewhat different. So it's so important to recognise that everybody does have different goals and different visions, and that is okay. You have the power to change your lives in any way that you choose. You just need that visualization. You've got to have a dream, because with a dream comes possibility, and with the possibility comes action. So by taking action, you're moving closer to that dream coming true. And yes, you might have to navigate a few hurdles along the way, and that direction might end up taking you in ways that you never even thought were possible. But this is the journey of life, loving every second and experiencing as much as possible. So I encourage everybody to look at their thoughts, their words, and their actions, and change what is needed to change if that change is what you're after, because you are in the driving seat. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.